think you know the person sitting across from you. You look at their face, you hear their voice, you remember their name. You think you are seeing a human being, but you are not. You are looking at a ghost. Most of us move through the world in a state of hallucination. We do not interact with reality. We interact with our own projections. We overlay our past, our fears, and our desires onto the faces of strangers until they look familiar. We live in a hall of mirrors, convinced we are seeing the world, when in fact we are only seeing endless reflections of ourselves. To wake up from this dream, to truly see the architecture of another human soul, is perhaps the most difficult task a mind can undertake. It is terrifying, because once you start to see, you cannot go back to the comfort of the blindness. Profiling is not a party trick. It is not about guessing someone's profession or knowing what they had for breakfast. True profiling is an act of radical perception. It is the discipline of the diver who refuses to stay on the surface of the water. It is a method of rewiring your brain to process the signals that the rest of the world ignores, to hear the silent screams behind a smile, and to see the aggression hidden in a handshake. But before you can learn the techniques, before you can learn to read a microexpression or decode the psychology of a watch, or hear the deception in a cracking voice, you must understand the laws that govern this perception. There are rules here, foundational, immutable rules that separate the amateur who guesses from the master who sees. If you break these rules, you remain in the hall of mirrors. If you follow them, the glass shatters. Let's begin. The first principle is the most painful to accept because it requires you to dismantle your own arrogance. You must learn that you cannot trust your memory. You can only trust observation. We cling to our memories. We treat them like a library of videotapes, believing that when we recall a person or an event, we are playing back a faithful recording of the truth. But the mind does not work this way. Neuroscience tells us that memory is not a recording. It is a reconstruction. It is a creative act. Every time you recall a meeting, you are rebuilding the scene from scratch, using the bricks of your current emotions, your current biases, and your current beliefs. You paint over the cracks. You soften the sharp edges. You edit the script to make yourself the hero or the victim. You change the lighting. You change the tone. If you try to profile someone based on your memory of them, you are profiling a fiction. You are analyzing a ghost that lives only in your head. Think about the last time you argued with someone you love. You remember them as angry, perhaps even monstrous. But was that the truth? Or was that the filter of your own adrenaline? If you were to watch a recording of that moment, you might see fear in their eyes, not anger. You might see a trembling hand that your memory conveniently erased because it didn't fit your narrative of them as the villain. To profile, you must kill the memory. You must arrive at every interaction as if you have just been born. You must rely only on the present, observable data. Not what you remember usually happens, but what is happening right now this second. Don't tell yourself. He is usually confident. Look at him now. Look at the sweat on his brow. Look at the way his fingers are twisting the fabric of his jeans. The memory of his confidence is a hallucination. The twisting fingers are the reality. The data is always in the now. Observation is raw. Memory is cooked. We want the raw. We want the photon hitting the retina, not the story the brain spins 5 seconds later. This brings us to the second realization, a trap that even the intelligent fall into. We must profile real subjects, not abstractions. The human intellect loves categories. We are addicted to labels. We love to talk about the narcissist, the millennial, the CEO, the artist. But these are not people. These are cartoons. They are fog. You cannot profile an idea. You cannot get a read on a reputation. If you try to apply these abstract cartoons to a real human being, you will fail. You will miss the specific, tiny, contradictory details that make them human. If I ask you to profile a billionaire, your mind instantly conjures an image. Maybe a shark in a tailored suit, maybe a tech genius in a hoodie. But if you walk into a room expecting to see a billionaire, you will be blind to the man actually standing there. You will interpret his silence as calculation, when it might just be exhaustion. You will interpret his rudeness as power, when it might just be social anxiety. You will see the archetype, not the man. You must strip away the reputation. Forget the title. Forget the rumors. Look at the concrete biological entity in front of you. Look at the specific fraying thread on his cuff. Look at the specific wah. The visionary genius is an idea. It is air. The man with the shaking hands and the fraying cuff is a reality. He is earth. The reality tells you he is barely holding it together. The abstraction tells you nothing. Stop profiling ghosts. Stop profiling rumors. Anchor your analysis in the physical world. Without a body, there is no profile. And once you are looking at that body, you must adhere to the third rule, perhaps the most disciplined of them all. Observation must come before interpretation. We are meaning-making machines. It is our greatest strength as a species, but it is our greatest weakness as profilers. When we see something, our brain instantly wants to label it. We see a frown, and we instantly think anger. We see a smile, and we think friend. We see a red dress, and we think passion. We jump from the photon hitting our retina to the conclusion in a millisecond. We skip the most important step. We skip the seeing. This is the discipline of the scientist. You must separate the data from the hypothesis. If you jump to interpretation too fast, you lock yourself into a tunnel. Imagine you see a man checking his watch. If you interpret immediately, you might say, he is bored. Once you decide he is bored, you stop looking. You have solved the puzzle. You mentally check out. You stop gathering data because you think you know the answer. But what if you didn't interpret? What if you just observed? You observe that he checked his watch. You observe that he checked it again 10 seconds later. You observe that he is tapping his foot. You observe that his eyes are fixed on the door. You observe that he is not looking at the person speaking to him. Now let that data settle. Is he bored? Maybe. Or maybe he is terrified. Maybe he is waiting for bad news. Maybe he is late for a flight. Maybe the watch is broken and he is just obsessing over the mechanism. By delaying the interpretation, you allow more data to come in. You allow the picture to become complex. You allow the ambiguity to exist. Train yourself to speak in neutral terms. Don't say to yourself, "She looks anxious." That is an interpretation. Say to yourself, "Her breathing is shallow. Her hands are clasping and unclasping. Her gaze is shifting rapidly." The observation contains the nuance. The label kills it. Observation is patient. Interpretation is impatient. Be patient. Let the weight of the evidence tip the scales. Do not push them with your own thumb. This patience allows you to see the fourth truth, the one that society tries to hide. The body is data. We live in the age of words. We are obsessed with language. We think that what people say is who they are. We listen to their arguments, their excuses, their stories, their promises. But words are cheap. Words are easily manipulated. The neocortex, the part of the brain that creates language, is a skilled liar. It can construct elaborate fictions to justify anything. It can rationalize murder. It can feign love. It can sell a lie as the gospel truth. But the body is ancient. The body is honest. The body is not just a vehicle for the brain. The body is the subconscious mind made visible. When a person lies, their words might be perfect. They might have rehearsed the script 1,000 times, but their body is fighting a civil war. The limbic system, the emotional brain, knows it is a lie. It triggers a stress response. The adrenaline spikes. The capillaries dilate. The muscles tense to fight or flee. And so, while the mouth says, "I am perfectly calm," the hand is clenched into a fist under the table. While the mouth says, "I love you," the feet are pointing toward the door. While the mouth says, "I am confident," the shoulders are pulled up toward the ears in a defensive turtle shell. Always believe the body. If the words and the body contradict each other, the words are the lie. The body is the hardware. The words are just the software interface. The hardware cannot lie about its own temperature. Look at the posture. It tells you how they relate to gravity and space. Look at the tension in the jaw. It tells you what they are holding back. Look at the rhythm of their movement. It tells you the tempo of their nervous system. And speaking of the nervous system, we must reclaim our greatest tool from the mystics. The fifth rule is that the nervous system understands before logic does. For centuries, we have dismissed intuition. We call it mystical or irrational. We think that if we cannot put it into a spreadsheet, it isn't real. But your nervous system is a supercomputer that processes information millions of times faster than your logical mind. Your brain has been evolving for millions of years to detect threats and opportunities. Long before we had language, we had to know instantly if the creature in the grass was a friend or a predator. We still have that machinery. It is running in the background 24 hours a day. It picks up microsignals that your conscious mind needs. This is not magic. This is data processing at the speed of biology. When you are profiling someone, you must listen to your own body. You are the instrument. You are the antenna. If you meet someone and you suddenly feel drained, tired, and heavy, ask yourself why. Don't dismiss it. Your body is reacting to the theft of your energy before your mind realizes it. If you meet someone and you feel a sudden, sharp alert, a ping of danger, even though they are smiling, stop. Your amygdala has seen something your eyes missed. Maybe it saw the predator staring out from behind the mask. Do not override your somatic signals with logic. Logic says, but he is polite, he is well dressed, he has a good job. The nervous system says, run. In profiling, the gut is not a metaphor. The gut is the second brain. Learn to read its output. This leads us to the mechanism of truth itself. The sixth rule is that truth produces resonance. How do you know when you have found the answer? In mathematics, you have a proof. In profiling, you have resonance. Profiling is a process of generating hypotheses. You look at a person and you think, maybe he is insecure. Maybe he is arrogant. Maybe he is shy. How do you choose between these ghosts? When you hit the right key on a piano, the sound is clear. It carries. When you hit the wrong key, it sounds dull. It dies quickly. The truth rings. When you look at a subject and you apply the right label, everything suddenly snaps into focus. Let's say you are looking at a woman who is loud, aggressive, and dominating the conversation. You try the hypothesis. She is a bully. It fits, but it feels flat. It explains the noise, but it doesn't explain the sadness in her eyes. It doesn't ring. You try another hypothesis. She is terrified of being ignored. Suddenly, click. Everything fits. The loudness is a plea for attention. The aggression is a defense mechanism. The domination is a panic response to silence. You feel a physical sensation of clarity, a release of tension. The puzzle pieces lock together. That is resonance. If you have to force a theory, it is wrong. If you have to write 3 paragraphs to explain why someone is the way they are, you are intellectualizing. You are building a castle in the sky. The truth is usually elegant. It is simple. It cuts through the noise like a knife. He is a child in an adult suit. She is a soldier fighting a war that ended 10 years ago. These truths vibrate. If you don't feel the click, keep looking. Do not settle for a dull hypothesis. And finally, we arrive at the discipline of precision. The 7th rule: limit interpretations to what you can feel clearly. Novice profilers make a classic mistake. They try to see everything. They look at a subject and write a laundry list of traits. He is anxious and ambitious and creative and shy and family-oriented and loves sports and hates authority. This is not a profile. This is a horoscope. It is a blur of noise. By trying to say everything, you say nothing. A human personality is complex, yes, But at any given moment, there are only a few dominant forces driving the behavior. There is a mainspring, the central gear that turns the rest of the watch. Your job is to find the mainspring. If you are listing 10 adjectives, you are just throwing darts at a board, hoping one hits. You are guessing. And usually, when you list too many things, you are contradictory. He is shy and outgoing. Well, which is it? Under what conditions? Limit yourself. Look at the subject. Find the one thing that is undeniable. The one thing that screams so loud you cannot ignore it. Perhaps it is. He is holding back rage. Okay, that is your anchor. Now, find one more thing that modifies it. He is holding back rage because he is afraid of his own power. Stop there. Two clear, resonant, deeply felt truths are worth more than 1,000 vague guesses. When you limit yourself to what you can feel clearly, you force yourself to be honest. You force yourself to discard the weak signals and focus on the strong ones. You move from being a collector of trivia to being a hunter of essence. These are the foundations. Without them, any technique you learn will crumble. With them, you have a solid rock upon which to build the model of a human psyche. Forget what you remember. Look at the body, wait for the resonance, and trust what you feel.